Today I got an HP 17.3-inch laptop. I have to do a quick upgrade to it from an HDD to a SSD. Got to open it up. I'll show you how to do it. Hey everybody, what's up? Dale here. Today I got an almost brand new HP 17.3-inch laptop. Got to do a quick upgrade on it. I'm a little under the gun to get this done. She wanted it back as quickly as possible. She bought it new, I don't know, maybe a little less than a month ago. But it came with a regular hard drive, a 1 terabyte hard drive. I'm pretty sure there's a slot in here for an NVMe drive. Which case, if there is, I'm going to put in a brand new Crucial P2 500 gig NVMe drive. It's not like a super high performance drive, but it's a good economical drive. It's a 500 gigger. So she didn't want to spend a lot of money like on a Samsung 970, but these are good drives. I sell a lot of them. It's like I said, it's the P2 M.2 2280 NVMe drive. So I think I'll probably just leave her 1 terabyte hard drive in there as a storage drive, to help her out. I didn't tell her I was going to do that, but I certainly don't need the drive, so. Anyway, she struggled to get into Windows. After getting it, she didn't get anything on it, so I just told her I'm going to do a clean install of Windows 10 20H2. It's only got 2004 edition on it. So it does have a full 1080 17.3-inch display. It's got the 10th generation Core i5 10210 quad-core CPU. The place she bought it from did some kind of an upgrade. They charged her extra from 8 gigs of RAM. They put a 4 gig stick in there, so now she's got 12 gigs of RAM. Not real excited about that, but that's what she's got. She's got the regular Intel UHD graphics. It does have an optical drive, CD-ROM drive, DVD on the side here. It's got an SD card slot, a couple of USB ports. Doesn't have USB-C. It's got Ethernet though, and HDMI port and a headphone jack on the side there. So anyway, I'm going to help her fix her up here with a quick SSD upgrade, do a clean install. This thing takes a long time to boot up. It's brand new, but it's sluggish. Once you see the desktop, you got to wait about a minute and a half before you can start clicking on anything typical of a hard drive. So anyway, the exact model of this one is a 17-BY 2053CL. I'll have it on the screen there for you. So let me just shut it off. I already took out most of the screws on the bottom for the sake of saving time on the video. Got to do a couple things here once it shuts down. I'll unplug my power cord and get inside and do the swap out or the adding of the SSD as soon as it shuts off here. Come on, baby. You know, it's a typical HP laptop. It's got decent processor in it, but a clunky old hard drive. So anyway, I'm going to fix that, take care of that for her. So I got it shut off. I flipped it over. I have to remove these little rubber bumpers. This is not much different than a 15.6-inch model of this same type of laptop, just a little bigger, really. So I already took out this screw, and this one in the front. But there should be, there is 3 here, under here, and I believe there's a couple under this one. So what you're gonna need is a really sharp tool. All these are is stuck on here with some pretty good adhesive. When you go to put them back on, if they're not sticky enough, just put a little bit of mild adhesive, mainly on the ends, a couple in the middle. It's not gonna go anywhere. So let me take my sharp little tool here, and I'm gonna get in the corner here. Try not to scratch your chassis if at all possible. They peel right up. Try not to stretch them. Otherwise, they end up a little bit too long when you go to put them back on. That's annoying. But you can heat them up, warm them up a little bit, and get them back on there. Kind of stretch them the opposite way, so to speak. Now, when you take them off, remember which one goes where, because they have little stubs sticking off on them that line up in these like little holes, little indentations here, and so just make sure you remember which one goes where. Like this one here goes along the front. Okay, so now that I did that, I'm going to go ahead and take out this screw here that holds in the optical drive. I'm using a number 0 Phillips screwdriver. for all these. Works good. A 1 would probably work, but a 0 seems to be a little better. So we got that. Now we can just grab a hold of the drive. Being brand new, it slides right out. And then underneath, when you slide out the optical drive, there's 2 tiny little flathead screws, very thin, very small. You're going to need a really good quality Phillips bit to get a hold of those. Okay, you don't want to strip them out. So I'm going to use my same number 0. Again, being new, they're not like goobered in there for 5 years, if that's a word. So, like I said, underneath these rubbers, there's 4 screws along the back, and there's just 2 in the front here, 1 in each corner. Okay, so now that we got all the screws removed, I'm going to flip it back over and take my plastic blue triangle spudger tool here. You can buy these online in a little bag of, I don't know, like a dozen for like $6. Just get good ones. I'll have a link down below where you can get some. So I'm just going to start it. Now over here on the side here where the CD-ROM drive goes, you want to be careful putting your spudger in here because it's a very thin little piece of plastic across here in the drive bay. So just be careful you don't bugger that up there or break the plastic when you're trying to get your spudger in there. But I'm just going to start like in the front corner here. I usually do on these. Before you get all the way inside, guys, make sure you protect yourself from static electricity. Use an ESD wristband or a mat or both. You can see I'm just kind of putting it in there and sliding it. Not too much force to break it loose. The popping is normal because the bottom's going to lift off. The keyboard stays where it's at, so to speak. Like I said, be careful where your CD-ROM drive bay is. All right, we got it pretty much started, so carefully close the lid. I'm going to get my other little spudger tool in here. Just kind of, usually if you jiggle them a little bit, you can get the back here started. Don't poke in there too far if you can help it, guys. You can see it doesn't take too much to lift that off. That's what the bottom looks like. Get that out of the way. So like I said, make sure you're protected against static discharge. Just be aware of that and don't touch anything. You absolutely don't have to. Here's our battery, here's the hard drive, and here's our M.2 2280 slot right over here. Boom, here's the mounting screw they gave us. It's already in the hole. And here is her 8 gig of RAM from the factory, and here's the 4 gig they stuck in there. 12 gigs. I mean, if you didn't have a choice, I could see, but I don't know why they didn't give her or sell her an 8 gig, make it 16 instead of 12. Like even, well, 12's even. Anyway, just to be safe, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop the battery out. There's only like 4 screws. 2, 3, 4. If you're really careful, you don't have to take the battery out, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You just don't want any juice flowing in there. And yes, I've done these upgrades without disconnecting the battery. Over 2 decades I've been doing this. I haven't fried one yet. I guess there's always a first time, but I take full responsibility. So now we can just basically pick it up, slide it back a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so there's the battery. But once you do that, if you're going to take the battery out, you need to open the lid carefully. It's all exposed in there, and we're going to hit the power button a few times. Just make sure everything's as drained as possible. There's always going to be a little bit of juice in there no matter what, but there, that'll protect us. So here's a hard drive. I'm just going to leave that in there. I'm going to zap it. There's nothing on it except the 2004 Windows 10. So here's our NVMe drive. It's going to go right over here. You can see that. I'm going to take the screw out. Now these aren't a real super high performance drive. It's not a gaming computer. All she does on this is some online stuff, banking, Facebook, looking up stuff, email, whatever. So I'm not even gonna bother putting a thermal pad on it. These drives, I'm just not even concerned about it. The label on it from the factory does help as a heat spreader across the NAND chips and the controller, so you always want to leave those labels on there. They're there for a reason. So we got that. You know what? Yeah, it's just and then they mismatch. The factory is 2666. They put a 3200 in there. The computer only sees 2666 because it's always going to clock down to a lower speed. So I think, let me see, I had this one extra from the other day. I believe this is an 8 gig stick, 2666. That'll give her, I'm just going to do that. I don't want to leave that cheap. I'm going to trade her, take the 4 and give her an 8. So there's that. We got to put our battery back real quick. You see, this is a pretty quick little upgrade. There's not a lot here. There's a CPU, cooling fan. Here's the logic board or main board. Your optical drive goes over here. Your Wi-Fi card. It is Wi-Fi 5, by the way. So pretty straight up. So let's put the battery back in carefully. And it only goes in one way, so. And I'm going to do a quick clean install, get all the drivers, get all the Windows updates, update all the store apps. I got her old laptop sitting behind me over there with all of her personal data on it. Not a lot, she only had a 3 or 4 gigabytes overall data in her user account, pictures, documents. I'm going to transfer all of her Chrome data for her browser from the old one to the new one, so all of her history and stuff will be there. It's what is that battery? I'm not sure what the watt hours. It's a 41 watt hour battery, 11.3 volts. But like I said, this is a typical, fairly inexpensive laptop. But I don't really sell that many. I don't really sell 17-inch. Everybody wants small, 15, 14, 13, whatever. So there, we got our NVMe drive, got our battery back. I'm leaving that hard drive in there, but I'm installing Windows on the SSD, obviously. So we should be good to put the bottom back on. Did that. That's just the way it goes. I don't know, engineering afterthought, I guess. So when you squeeze your bottom back together here, always be careful you don't squeeze on the lid in too much. You could actually pop your screen. You don't want to do that, so be careful. But I do upgrades like this, usually several, if not more, every single day. You can do anywhere from 5 to 6 a day, among other things, repairing broken this or broken that. We gotta put our 2 little screws back down in here, which are right here. Do a lot of HPs. Slide Mr. Optical back in there. Boom, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that screw back in. I'm going to put all the screws back in when I'm all done and get the Windows install done, just to make sure. Plus I put that new stick of RAM in there. I don't want to button it all up if that RAM's not going to work with the factory one. Shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to put the little rubber feet back on. Just make sure you put the right little rubber feet back on the right, because they are a little different the way they line up. Same length, but different. Plug in Mr. Power cord here. I think the battery's got a good charge on it. Alright, take Mr. Flash drive here, because I'm going to boot off of this, not our hard drive. Still got Windows on it, and see if we can, I believe HP is going to be F9. F9 or F10, God, I always forget. Might take a minute to post with that new RAM in there. Want to get into the boot menu. Boot selection menu. Alright, okay, it's telling me that the CMOS has changed, we need to reboot. That's going to be because of the RAM, which that's actually a good sign. So, yeah, now I'm going to hit F9. Try to get to the boot menu. I don't know anymore, it seems like in these HPs, come on. Change boot device order. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to choose, I can't see that. There's our Windows Boot Manager. There's the other one. I'm going to go to Kingston Data Traveler. I might have to go in and turn off Secure Boot, which I'm not too concerned about. Sometimes on these HPs they're fussy about booting off a flash drive. I just want to get so I can just zap that hard drive, because like I said, there's nothing on it she cares about at all. Took her 2 days, poor lady, to get it even into Windows, and asking her for passwords, this, that, and the other. She had no clue what to do, so she brought it to me. All right, United States, for my language, or English. Click install now. I'll get the install going, and then at the end I'll come back. We'll go into Windows real quick and just make sure everything's showing up right. License agreement, yes. I'm going to go to custom here. All right, here's all of our partitions. Now that P2 that I put in here, I think I used it the other day just to test. So it's got partitions on it, which is fine. I'm just going to clean them all out. There's other ways to do this, but this is just the way I'm doing it. I don't care about anything on those. Just select them and hit delete. So now we're going to end up with 2 drives. We got our 1 terabyte HDD as drive 0. Drive 1 is our SSD. I'll select that and hit next. Once I get into Windows, I'll go into disk management, and I'll allocate that 1 terabyte hard drive, so she'll end up with 1.5 terabytes of overall storage. Windows on the 500 and a terabyte drive she'll probably never use, but it'll be there if she wants to put stuff on it. Alright guys, I'm going to let this go and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright guys, I got to the region, the first step in setting up Windows install, so I'm going to choose United States here. I'm going to hit yes. I'm just going to do a quick setup of this, because then I'm kind of going to get this done quickly. We're going to skip keyboard layouts. I'm going to opt out of internet right now, so I'm not forced to set up a Microsoft account. So you can change all this later easily in Windows 10. It's not a big deal. Next, no password. She definitely didn't want a password on it. She was forced to do it when she was trying to do it. She didn't want that, but she didn't know how to not do that. So I said, well, I can do that for you. I just leave location on. Not now. So let this get into Windows real quick. It shouldn't take too long, because now we're going off the NVMe drive instead of that clunky old hard drive. This is her old laptop she had that she replaced this old clunky beast with that. The hinges are all sprung. The chassis is broken inside. There's pieces of parts floating around in there, so it'll still turn on and work, but it's got a Pentium. It's got the old Pentium silver processor in it, and boy is it slow to turn it on and boot it up. It's very, very slow. I mean, if it wasn't for the hinges and all that being broke back there, you could, yes, put a 2.5-inch SSD in it, make it better, but still, them processors, Pentium silvers, not so good. But she absolutely had to have a 17.3-inch. So she's got a big upgrade here with the i5 quad core. Now she's got SSD, full HD display. So it'll be nice. Does not have a backlit keyboard. Like I said, this is kind of the entry level. Their i5s and 17-inch model. All right, now we're in Windows. So real quick here, we're done with the, you can take the flash drive out after it reboots the very first time. After copying the files over, it needs to install Windows. So we don't care about any of that. Let's just, what am I doing here? Just want to check the RAM here. So there. Now she's got 16 gigabytes of 2666 instead of 12 and 8 and a 4. I don't know. I've done it before when people absolutely don't want to pay the extra money, but I'm just going to throw that in for free and not even charge her. So I'm going to go into disk man. I'm going to right click on the start button down here in the corner, guys. I right click on it and you go to disk management. Spam call. How many of those do I get every day? All right, so here's disk management. Here's our 1 terabyte unallocated drive. All we have to do is right click on it, choose new simple volume. Basically, I'm going to accept all the defaults. You could easily punch in numbers here and partition it up if you wanted to. You can do, as long as it's empty and you don't want to lose anything, you can do that later. You can also do it with other programs like AOME and other free partition managing software. There's tons of them out there. Quick format. Boom, new volume. We're good there. Let me just make sure. So there's our optical drive, our 1 terabyte, our SSD. You can right click on these drive volumes here and rename them anything you want. I'll just call it data. Yes, I know. Continue. Boom. Now it's data. You can put SSD on this one if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. So anyway, now she's got 16 gigs of RAM. I figure as long as I was in there, I had an extra stick of 8 sitting over there. Going to use on another laptop the other day, but didn't work out. So, yeah, nice little upgrade, big upgrade from her old laptop over there. So now I just got to get her data off the old one, get it transferred on here. I got to get all the Windows updates, of course. Let's go, if we go into system real quick, you can see that's 20H2, but actually what I was going to show you is what am I going to show you? Oh, that it's activated. It came with a Windows 10 digital license, so put Windows on a different drive, it doesn't matter. It's gonna activate. Just want to show you. Otherwise, it would say right down here, Windows is not activated, but it is. So anyway, so we got a good, quick, clean install, quick little upgrade. It's gonna perform a whole lot better for her, a whole lot faster. Yeah, I'll get it set up for her, and we should be good to go. I appreciate you all watching. If you liked it, give me a like. If you really liked it, you could sub. That would be great. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.